Hi everybody, and welcome to our small group this week as we're talking about God's love, radical love. On Sunday we looked at the most famous verse in the Bible. It's probably the most memorized verse in the whole world, John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. That verse is so important. You know, we use the word love for all kinds of things in our culture. We talk about, I love French fries, I love downhill skiing, I love swimming, I love going to the cottage. And we just, I love this, I love all the things that we love. We just love everything. You know, I never realized how much as Canadians, as North Americans actually, we use the word love until we lived in Poland. Diane and I lived in Poland for a number of years, and one of the things we learned there was the word love in Polish, they only use it when they're talking about deep relationships. And when it's a deep relationship, they use that word love. And the fact is, we all want to be loved. We've lived or visited many different parts of the world. And we've been with people who dress differently, they wear different clothes, different than us, they eat differently, they speak different languages, they have a unique way of seeing the world. Their worldview is different than our worldview. But you know what's really amazing? The crazy thing is this, that no matter where we've gone, there's one common thread that goes right through every culture and connects every person. And that is that every person wants to be loved and to be accepted. That is common throughout the whole world. Now the sad reality is this, that many people don't experience that. They look for love, they want to be loved, and sometimes they even do self-destructive things in their search for love, but they never find it. Or they find what they think is love, and it breaks down. It doesn't go well, and they're left feeling rejected. They're left feeling alone. All you have to do in our country is look around at our divorce rate. Divorce is all around us. Most of us have an experience of divorce in our lives. I know in my own family, several generations back, we've had the pain of divorce. Some of you listening have gone through the pain of divorce. What is it? It's that we were looking for love, and it's broken down. Now, one of the results of this search for love and acceptance is this. When it doesn't happen, when it breaks down, when we get hurt, we end up with this fear of rejection. You see, the reason we want to be loved and the reason we want to be accepted is we all have a fear of rejection to one degree or another. And for that reason, this verse that we're looking at this week and the message of the whole Bible, that God loves you unconditionally, is so important. It's really simple to understand up here in your head, but to experience it is so key and it's so important. Now, what I want you to do, my desire for you, is that you will begin to experience God's love. And we talked about experiencing God's love on Sunday. And the reason I say begin to experience His love is this. No matter who you are, when you come to God, when you approach God, maybe you've just heard about Him recently or you've begun to think about God recently, but when you come to Him, you bring baggage. You bring your own story and your past experiences, past hurts, past rejections by people, often people, and usually by people who were significant in your life. And you've had painful experiences. It may have been all the way back when you were a kid and you're an adult now. It might have been a parent that was unpleasable. It might have been a teacher. It might have happened in the schoolyard. The crazy thing is, often the rejection and the pain that we carry around in the back of our minds and the back of our hearts, the crazy thing is that the people that caused it are often not even around anymore. And they don't even think about you. But you're left with the pain. Now, here's the deal. The reason we talk about experiencing or begin to experience the love of God, it's not an instant thing, especially if you've been hurt in the past. the deeper your experience of rejection or hurt in the past, the longer it's going to take, and it's going to be more of a process of experiencing God's love. Because the reality is, as you come to Him, you lack something called trust. You've learned not to trust. You've built walls up. And you maybe put on a nice mask and a nice smile, but underneath, you don't have that trust. And to really experience God's love, you need to trust Him. This whole issue of rejection, the only thing that will combat it, that will solve it, is God's love. Because God's love is perfect love. He's the only one that can love you perfectly and unconditionally. No man can love you that way. No woman can love you that way. Only God can. In 1 John, he writes a letter to some people, and John says this. He says, we know how much God loves us, and we've put our trust in His love. There's that word trust. We've put our, and he's saying, we've done this. We've come to the place where we've learned, we've taken the risk, and we've put our trust in His love. And then he says this, God is love, and all who live in love live in God, and God lives in them. But then he says this, such love has no fear, because perfect love expels all fear. God's love, perfect love, is the only thing that will deal with the whole issue of trust and rejection. And He wants you to experience that. And so today, as you go into your discussion time as a small group, I pray that you will begin the process of experiencing His love deeper and deeper as we look at this fantastic verse in John 3:16. So have a great discussion time. Don't forget, be open with each other. Let each other have a chance to talk. If you want to just listen, go ahead and just listen. But have a great time together. And I pray that God really blesses your time. We'll see you next week.